Hey everyone, this is Paul. This is a longer, rambly review of Reaper's Gale where I just talk about it. And I, to follow up with my mini review, uh, of course, this will be a review with a lot of spoilers in it. I'll be talking about the book in depth for the most part. I think that the main thing that in this book that I have an issue with is that we're given points of views of characters that don't impact the overall story arc that Erikson is focusing on. We have a lot of characters that are thrown in there to create this empire of political intrigue, backstabbing, multiple different types of uh, factions within this empire vying for power. And he's trying to do this very Game of Thrones type intrigue type thing within this empire. And I understand what he's trying to do, and for the most part, he succeeds. But it's not as interesting as the rest of the book. So we have the Liberty Consign, we have the Ratcatchers Guild, we have uh, the city of Dren with the leader of that city. We have a lot of the people underneath the chancellor that is doing his bidding. Then we have a lot of people just doing their own thing. And it gets so messy at times, and the point of view skips so much that it's difficult at times to really know exactly what Erikson is trying to do with this book. The core of the book, uh, with the people in Netheros, and then eventually the Malazans showing up, is without a doubt the best part. And also, of course, the party of Solchus Ruin with Fear and Saren and Udinus. Yeah, that is the core of this book, and a lot of it really focuses on finding Blood Eye, Scambadari, and I think that the stuff with the owls and the stuff with the Eastern Lothari people just didn't connect with the rest of the story enough for me, and it wasn't interesting enough for me. I I'm at the point now in this series, book 7, where I want to see resolutions. I want to see the main story arc, the crippled god versus the other gods, and the bridge burners, now the bone hunters, the Malazan army. I want to see that play out. And when we have something so different that has really not a whole lot to do with those people in that storyline, it just distracts from the entire book. And it really bogged down the book for me, especially in the second half, the second part, like near the end of the second part. Once the Malazans show up, it becomes a significantly better book. Also, the abuse with Tannel and Janeth, it didn't add anything to the book. It was not something I really like to read, um, and I it shouldn't have been in the book. Bottom line, I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. It added nothing to the story. All it did was add to this overall idea of how depraved and how messed up these Lothari individuals are. And I don't think that he needed to add all that just to get that point across. Um, there are also a lot of like references to child abuse and things like that, and that's I don't know. Those things, even though they like made sense within the story, and even though it didn't like distract or detract from the story way too much, it was still not necessary. And I think that he lost some points with me as far as writing. I didn't like it. Bottom line. However, the things I did like about this was, the Malazans showing up. They're fighting the Tistadur in the swamps, in the forest and stuff. The hit and run tactics, that was fantastic. Introducing new soldiers that are in the Malazan army, that are in these squads, is very risky at this point, but he does it so well. I mean, we're 7 books in, and he's introducing new people that are in the different squads. And I'm ending up liking those characters just as much as I do the Bone Hunters, just as much as I did the Bridge Hunters, or the Bridge Burners. And I think that's what he does well. He adds characters to these Marines that are intriguing, that are likable, that are fun to read about. Beak became one of my favorite characters in the entire series, and he just was introduced in this book. I liked his story arc. His death was very emotional for me. I didn't see that coming, and I was really sad about that. But that's what he does really well in this book, is introducing new characters that are a part of the army, part of the Malazan army. But him introducing characters that are part of other armies, not so much. We don't need 4, 5, 6 armies. We don't need like 30 individuals in each army that we follow point of view from. I was captivated by the whole thing with Scamandari and Seltris Ruin. The Seltris Ruin group was a fantastic part of this book. Clip is now up there as one of my favorite characters as well. He's fantastic. What's standing out to me the most in this book is that scene at the end when they walk through the gate and they find Troll and Onos there. And that scene right there with the death and the changes to these individuals was fantastic. It was such a good scene, and it's really the biggest, most important scene in this entire book. There's a lot of talk about Rulad, and if you should feel sorry for him. I understand why some people feel sorry for him because of his death and rebirth type issues and his madness and individuals around him. But I feel like he wanted this. He chose this path. And I think that just because the path he chose didn't end up being what he wanted to be, doesn't change the fact that he's the one that chose this path. And I'm very much one of, personal freedom to make their own choices, but you have to have those choices be smart, and he really didn't think through his choices. It was a great book, but the issues I had with it, I had to lower it to a 3. It's the lowest Malazan book I've given so far. The plot, I would probably give a 4. The plot was decent, and the characters I would give a 3. The setting, I'm actually going to bump the setting down to like a 3. Most of these books, the setting was fantastic, and the world building was fantastic, but I think that we're seeing a lot of the same things in this one, and I think that the Eastern War, if the setting was better in that Eastern War with the Owl and the Lotharia individuals, I think that would have been a much better story arc. I did like that they fought in this place that had a lot of mud and it was like slippery and stuff, but I never really connected with the eastern part of that continent. Running style, I'm going to bump that down to a 3 as well. And the heart and mind aspect, a 3. So actually that ends up giving it more than... I'm just going to go ahead and give all of them a 3. Because it was close to a 4 for me. But all those issues that I had with the additional characters and the unneeded, really disgusting scenes. So yeah, 3 for all, 3 for plot, 3 for characters. So it's like a 15 out of 25. So that's like right on the edge of a 3. or right on the edge of a 4, so it's like 3.5. Anyways, this was my long review for Reaper's Gale. Thanks for watching.